Hey guys, today I'm going to be giving my thoughts and do a little review on 2021's The Nature of Middle-earth. This is sort of a unofficial 13th chapter of the histories of Middle-earth. So we actually weren't supposed to get any new Lord of the Rings books at all, pretty much. It was 2018's Fall of Gondolin. That one was supposed to be the last one. And so I am very pleasantly surprised that we got this and super happy about it. Now, this is, of course, not any official novels that has a start and has an end, except it's just a ton, and I mean a ton, of just extra little notes and lore bits, and you can see kind of Tolkien's writing process on this book, and it's super cool. And I read the whole thing in about a week, and I read it casually, so it's very, very... I guess it's difficult to read if you have no experience with the Silmarillion or the histories of Middle-earth. But if you've experienced those and enjoyed them, even though they're very dense, this is exactly like those, except even more dense. And so I enjoyed this book quite a lot, and it was split up into three major parts. Part one is all about time and aging. Now, basically, the elves and the Valar, they all see time kind of differently than us humans do, and even the sun years in the Lord of the Rings novels. And so it goes into extraordinary detail about basically the perception of time and all very, very deep, complicated stuff. Very interesting. It got kind of boring for me, but I can't complain because that's what you get with these sorts of books. Then part two, I thought was super interesting. It's called Body, Mind, and Spirit. And reading this chapter was pretty much like philosophy. I had to really sit as I was reading it and think about what was happening and what was going on. It was very good. So basically, it covered the topics of death and elven reincarnation, which we had basically very little knowledge of before this book, and so I'm super happy that we finally got that stuff published. And then part three was kind of fun. It was the world, its lands, and its inhabitants. And that basically just talked about the Numenorians and all the animals of Numenor and basically what it says, like basically just world stuff. Super interesting. The book's about 400 pages long. If you're a very heavy reader, it's not too bad, but definitely don't have anyone who's just seen the movies buy this book or read this book. It's a great book, except you need prior Silmarillion knowledge. And then along with that, you need to read and understand all 12 volumes of the history of Middle-earth. So it can be pretty confusing to get that far, but if you're a lore fanatic like myself and you've read that much, then this is definitely a worthy addition to your collection. Also, something I found totally interesting was Carl. He actually he basically gave a rundown about all of Tolkien and his Catholic worldviews, imbuing his writing. And then so there's a part in chapter 2 about it, and then there's a little part at the end about it, and I find it just super interesting. In pondering time, and then the body and spirit stuff, along with the rest of it just being really confusing and dense, made it a fun, interesting read, and it kind of makes it gives the Silmarillion more sense. It just makes it more deep, and also I guess, just adds to it. So if the Silmarillion's the base game, the Histories of Middle-earth is in an expansion pack, this is kind of DLC, and it's really well-made DLC. And so those are my thoughts on this book. Just whipped up this quick video. And thanks for watching it to the end, I guess.